everybody, welcome back to the Reality Wind Down, a podcast where we break down all the latest Bravo TV drama, the biggest pop culture moments of the week, one glass of wine at a time. I'm Chase.
I'm Cassidy.
How are you this week?
I'm good. I feel like I have a really big glass of wine compared
You
to
really
yours.
do.
I don't know what happened.
Mine's like
I would
half
say
yours, actually.
You should definitely hire the bartender, but I poured my own wine glass and you poured yours, so maybe you should hire me and fire yourself.
I need to hire you. I would love the same size of glass.
She'll be gone in 10 minutes. Don't worry about it.
I'm just trying to compensate with some water. I'm drinking water now.
That's wine in your glass.
No, I'm drinking water now.
I was like, okay, Jesus. Like, what did you do to
I decided to take up water drinking.
That's like good. Like, it's new. I'm
yeah,
proud.
It's like I got one of those bottles that has like, the times of day.
And you've been working on that all week, right?
Yeah. You know what? Half the time I forget I even have it, and I just like leave it in my car or I leave it somewhere. So I haven't really gotten the hydrating part down. So we do have a lot to talk about this week.
We do.
We have some Salt Lake City, new episode. We have episode 2 of Atlanta. That's exciting. And we have the first reunion of Potomac, which was a great reunion.
Epic Potomac reunion part 1.
I don't know the last time I've loved a reunion as much as I did Potomac.
Just all I have to say is Pastor Holy Whore, and we will get there at the end of this episode. But that's all I need to say.
I was like, just leave that there. That's a good
that is.
Setting the tone for the episode.
Yes.
But we are going to do a little couple hot takes first. So
right. I mean, I think I'll kick it off. Really, who we want to dedicate our episode to. Gigolo, Giggy, Todd Vanderpump did pass away this week.
That is breaking news, but it's the saddest breaking news.
I know. And I feel like Giggy was such a big part of the Bravoverse, and Lisa did say we started Vanderpump Dog Rescue because of Giggy.
I honestly think Lisa was like partly hired because of Giggy, because I feel like they like entered at the same time together.
Oh,
on the
for
show.
Sure. And I always thought it was so funny that Giggy looked just like Ken, and she preferred to hang out with Giggy over Ken. And I was like, I feel that. I aspire to be that one day. So rest in peace, Giggy. You are a huge part of the Bravoverse, and we're dedicating this episode to you.
Yeah, I'm still thinking of him. Now I want to cry.
Okay.
But I'm not hydrated enough to bring a tear.
And maybe if you drink more water, you would be crying. But yes. In all seriousness, rest in peace, we miss you.
Yes. Next thing that I was going to talk about, did you see a collision of, I feel like, our high school days with our current days with Kristen Cavallari hanging out with Austin and Craig?
I did. I saw the videos of Kristen bouncing on top of Austin's shoulders, screaming, "We are never ever getting back together." Like,
also,
Chris.
Taylor Swift having the best moment with Evermore and Folklore. We're going to get her, Kristen Cavallari, Craig, and Austin all together in one video? I just don't think I could be more happy than that.
I mean, but were we that happy about it? Do we think that Kristen's trying, like, really hard?
You're not wrong. I just immediately was like, I love The Hills. I never really watched Christian's shows, like the one that she had on E. I always just go back to, like, The Hills, which was, like, the best show.
Well,
or Laguna Beach,
like,
really.
Okay, but let's go, like, to Austin really quick. Like, what is Austin bringing to the table that all these beautiful, successful women, like, want to go after? Like, Madison, gorgeous, successful. Kristen, gorgeous, successful. I mean, a little bit of a bitch. Let's call it what it is. You didn't watch very Cavallari. But basically, okay, her husband, Jay, was, like, a quarterback in the NFL for 10 plus years. Made $100 million. And he was
a reality star for 10 plus years.
100%. But literally, Jay is retired at this point, and she basically spoke to him like he did nothing all day, every day. It was like, well, he literally has earned over $100 million. And she loved to be like, I started this company on my back. It's like, well, it helps to have a little bit of those millions of dollars in support. Did I say on my back? You know what I meant? I meant like on my back, like I started it by myself. I didn't mean literally laying on my back, but thanks for that.
I'm, again, going back to, like, the nostalgia of, like, Laguna Beach and The Hills. I mean, she was a bitch on that show, too.
Right.
So.
No, I mean, we loved it. That's, like you say, it was literally our high school life.
But now I need to answer the question. Why are these girls so into Austin? I have no idea.
It
doesn't make any sense. I'm with Patricia on this one. Whenever she says, like, Madison could do better than him.
He could do Budweiser, or she could do Budweiser, and he is not Budweiser.
Yeah. I mean, as much as, like, Patricia's fake storylines annoy me, she's not wrong on that one, and she should give the same advice to Kristen Cavallari.
I think that's valid.
But I think they're both just doing it to, like, get back at their significant others.
Well, I heard that Madison was hanging out with Jay.
Yes, but we haven't seen that yet. I know they like did like a Instagram post that she was like, I'm coming to hang out with you.
Yes.
To Jay, which is very weird. So I think it's kind of becoming like a tit for tat.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Either way, once you get out of a long-term relationship like that, where you like obviously have children, like neither relationship is gonna stick. It's just a moment to like be out, be in each other's faces, and be like, I'm out having a better time than you.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you say, it feels very tit for tat. Yeah, and I think we have an update on our final hot take.
Not just an update, a huge update.
I'm gonna let you take off with this. Erica Girardi, go.
The lawsuits get deeper and deeper.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, last week I think we were talking about that he was refusing to pay, like spousal support, stuff like that.
Her lawyer fees.
Yeah. Did we talk about last week that he's being sued for like $800,000 by Wells Fargo?
I don't think we talked about that, no.
So that's an update. There's been so many updates. I'm getting confused on what it is. But so he's being sued by Wells Fargo for like $882,000 in unpaid debts. And then we also found out that now he's being held in contempt of court because he couldn't come up with a reason why they hadn't paid the plane crash victims the money, or the families of the victims the money.
Just watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for 3 episodes and you'll see that $40,000 headed straight to Mikey in the closet for glam. We know why. I mean, if you're like a half-decent DA, you just get straight on the show. And like every other housewife who's gotten arrested for doing illegal stuff. I mean, why do you come on the show if you're doing anything shady? Like Joe and Teresa. Like, I just don't understand.
Sense. Yeah, and then the last update with the Girardi stuff is that now Tom is allegedly in the hospital with a very serious illness.
Not allegedly.
I'm going to throw allegedly in there. So they're saying he's using this illness as possibly a way to like kind of put the stop to these cases moving forward as fast as they've been moving.
I mean, the other day he can like go into the hospital like all he wants, even if he is really sick, and I hope if he is, he gets better. Like, it's not going to stop these cases from moving forward eventually. Like, it's happening.
It's easier for them to serve him in hospital because he can just like, can't run. they just lay it on him,
Shade. They lay it on him in more than one way. Lay it on him literally and figuratively.
Because don't they have to be like, hey, are you so-and-so? And then they serve you?
Well, if he can't respond, if he's just laying there, I don't know. No, next.
We wish you well.
We do wish you well, Tom. We obviously don't want anyone to be ill, but
no.
Hopefully his cases get sorted out, Mikey keeps his job, and everyone is healthy.
Honestly, all the updates are here for Mikey. We're just making sure he has job security.
We're here for
It's
Mr.
just not
Mikey.
Looking good.
We do.
And all prayers to you.
I think that it is time for the best time of the week, a game.
We have a good game today. I mean, we always have a good game.
Yes.
But we have a new game. We are going to do Match That Housewife with their song.
The song lyrics.
Lyrics.
You're going to get 1 point if you get the title of the song and 1 point if you get the artist of the song.
And as a running rule, you get 1 hint.
1.
Per game.
1.
1.
1 hint. So we're going to read it almost like spoken word. But yes. I'm going to try to stop myself because I feel like I can really get to go in with a few of these. So I
am real. Sorry, that was just an example of what's
come through. I think you should start off this week.
I'll start. Once upon a time, a woman walked 2 steps behind, afraid to talk and speak her mind. Keep it all inside.
Viva la diva, Luann de la Salle.
Correct. Was it my spoken word?
It was your spoken word. It was once upon a time. I felt like we were doing ASMR for a moment. I was waiting for you to grab the microphone and start like putting your fingers on
don't put like ideas in my head. We can start doing ASMR housewife lyric podcasts.
Let us know if you'd be into that. I know you wouldn't, so don't. Okay. What's the word? I'm the word on the street. Ain't nobody hotter than me. Broads wish they was me. Huh? I'm superb. Fly like a bird. 16 with the baddest curves. Wheezy checking on me. I can see your...
Is this Nene?
No.
Oh, is it? It's Housewives of Atlanta, right?
I don't know.
Okay, I guess that would be the hint. Is it Kim Zolciak?
We already guessed Nene.
I know, but was it Kim Zolciak?
Yeah, it was.
I just want to redeem myself.
So that was Google Me by Kim Zolciak.
You always sing the main
chorus
to that?
Google me, research me, you'll find me, drop them keys and Google me.
Why couldn't have that been the line that you did?
It literally gives the entire thing
I
away.
know, but it would have been great.
Oh my god.
Okay, here's your second one.
me close my eyes and really get into this.
I can feel the weight of the world pushing down on me.
Down on me. Keep going.
I think you have it.
I know it's Melissa Gorga, but keep singing because I'm trying to remember what the song's called.
I can feel everyone's eyes
Because
watching
I'm on
me.
display. On display.
Yes. Oh my god. I
love how you said it like Teresa. Oh my god. Oh, my sister-in-law, my raccoon sister-in-law, they can't sing.
I'm literally just picturing you like in the shower, just like dancing to like only Housewives songs. Like
I mean,
that's
would it
it.
surprise you?
Your boyfriend walks in and he's like, "Ma'am, do you
Like,
do you listen to anything else?"
No, he comes in playing it on the boombox. We have a full moment.
God, it's a whole family
It's
thing.
a family affair. Okay. I'm reckless. Offensive. I destroy your defenses. My guest list is priceless. And yes, I run a tight ship. Bentleys and Benzes. Through cash-colored lenses.
Honestly, that one was like very deep. Like that spoken word you did.
I didn't
was,
mean
like,
to make y'all cry on this
I know.
podcast.
I'm like, wow, Vince's crying.
Reality wind down, come for the emotion.
Sheree.
Are you serious? Did Sheree have a song?
No, but I feel like she would say something like that.
Erica Jane. It's expensive to me. If I had sung it, I'm reckless, offensive.
That would have helped.
I tried to do it in a very different voice to throw you.
Wow, Cassidy, you're doing great. I'm doing amazing as well.
If it makes you feel better, I know you'll get the next one, but it's your.
I don't like when you say that because I get
No,
really
but you'll.
stressed.
I know you will.
Okay, well, here's your third one. Looking like a cover girl, covered in diamonds and pearls. Take the bins out for a swirl. Drop that top, yeah. It's my world. I hope that threw you off.
It did throw me. You cover girl.
I don't know what voice that was, but...
I mean, is it Kim Zolciak?
Yes.
Is it Don't Be Tardy?
Yes!
Yes! That was just a guess. I didn't know it was Don't Be Tardy. I just felt like
hate
I
this
was like kind
game.
of going Erica Jane, and I was like, that seems too obvious. But once I said Kim, I knew it had to be that. Okay,
Whew,
I know
Cassidy
you'll
in
get
these
this
games.
one. I got dreams of being in Vogue magazine, sitting front row fashion shows with Philip Plain. Already on the bigger things. Tell the driver to go get my team. Oh my god, you so know this.
Is it Melania?
Yes! What's it called?
Oh, this makes me so sad that I don't know the name of it.
You do know. I can't wait to grow
It's
up.
me, Melania. See me
It's
around.
me, Melania.
Hey, it's me, Melania. I'm sure you see me around. You probably see me on TV. I'm about to go pick up my besties, Tay Tay and Stephanie.
I do have to say, for my 26th birthday, I had a Housewives themed like party. It was amazing. It was so decorated. My boyfriend and my friend Meg threw it, and I got a special performance from the one and only Melania herself.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know you guys hired child performers up in here.
No, we didn't have that budget, so we made Joe dress up as Melania, and they did a surprise performance, and he was dancing around.
Joe Giudice showed up and performed as his daughter. Just kidding. His boyfriend's named Joe too, but
It was so great. I had a surprise performance of that song.
I'm very jealous.
It was probably one of the biggest highlights. Micah was there actually too.
Oh, he was.
He played Teresa and he introduced her to his
Oh my god, is that whatever in the video? Because Teresa walks out at first like, you girls never play games anymore. We should play more games. And she's like doing a whole thing, and then they jump into the game.
Yeah, he did that part.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was great. It was the funniest thing I think
I'm glad it
I've
stuck
ever
out to you
seen.
so much. You remember what
Do you
the
know
song
who
was
catered
called?
that party?
Taco Bell?
Yes.
Ah, shocking. I mean, there's no other choice.
Okay. Question 4. Song 4, sorry. Baby, I've been searching like everybody else.
I've been searching
We collided unexpected.
like anybody,
Though we didn't know it then.
ready to spend my life.
Something always brought me.
with
It brought me back to
you.
you.
Oh my god, I know
After
this.
all these years later, our love lives feel so brand new.
Oh my god, Gretchen Rossi.
How the do you know
You
this?
know I love. Baby, I've been searching.
I feel like you sound like Michelle Branch or something.
Is it called "Marry Me"? Because it was her proposal. No, is it called "Ready to Spend My Life"?
No.
With
This
you?
time is now.
Time is now. The best part, okay, there's the whole song. I hope that our producer puts this part in. But at the very end, she's proposing to Slade, and she goes, "Marry me." Like it goes.
Marry me.
It was like 2 years ago or a year ago. You would just randomly sing that.
Yes, and then you find no one believed it was a real song. And let me just say, it is as auto-tuned as her pictures are face-tuned.
Oh,
If that gives you any idea of how the song sounds, if you've never heard it. Okay, are you ready?
mm-hmm.
Here in reality, we practice duality. We kiss and hug, preen and mug, because we are celebrities. You have no idea.
Of course I don't.
Do you want to take a guess?
I want a hint. I mean, might as well go for it.
Are you ready for your hint?
Yes.
All right, I feel like that's 10 seconds.
There's not even a lyric in that.
Yeah, girl, why are we going to give you lyrics so you can hear the person singing? Like, that's a no.
Oh, that's true. Okay, well, you know what? I didn't think about that. Is it Melissa Gorga?
It is I Am Real by Simon
Oh
Van
my
Kempen.
god! I
And
even
can I
sang
say,
it earlier.
When we found out this was the game, Chase has been singing nonstop, I am real. And so the fact that you got it, and I didn't give it away.
That's very fitting. That I would be singing the song that I don't know.
Iconic.
I am real, I ain't gonna change. I am real, I am who I am.
Okay, next one.
Okay.
Got my mink on the floor. PETA gonna be mad. But like RuPaul, I love to let it drag. Do you see me? Shining, shining. Been gleaming like diamonds, diamonds.
I'm asking for a hint because I have an idea,
Okay.
but I want to know if I'm even on the right track. Because I don't know what the song is, but I'm thinking I might know the artist.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the hint now.
Come on and get this. Honey, come on and get this. Honey, come on and get this.
I don't know what it's
Y'all
called.
said that I couldn't get lyrics, and that's literally her singing.
Chase, you sound so nasty and so rude, as Miss Nene Leakes would say. And that is a Nene Leakes song, and I don't know what it's called.
Honey.
Come and get this, honey.
Okay, come and get this, honey.
Yeah, I did know that, but it was Nene. Come on and get this. Iconic. Okay, are you ready for your last one? Was that my last one?
Real.
You sound
I
like
keep singing
You
it.
sound like Dory. I am real. Okay. Statement necklace, reckless flair. You can't take me anywhere. Crowds of people stop and stare. Paparazzi on the air. I fall hard. Yes, I do. Watch me go. It's nothing new.
I mean, you know I don't know it.
What you do?
Is it Luann?
Mm-hmm.
Statement necklace. I gave that away, but I'm trying to think of this. Is it Diamond?
It's feeling good.
Feeling good about it.
And it
I
feels
don't know
so
songs,
good.
guys. I don't know what heals a heart.
I don't know what heals. I mean, that's
Keep
Candace
going.
Dillard
It's good.
Bassett. Wait, hold on. Heals a heart or where it starts. Oh my god, I've literally watched Serena.
Describe how much
I love you. Like, show you how much I love you. It's something like that, but I don't know. I've already won, so I'm not
I
that
see
worried.
you.
Oh,
I see
we
you.
see each other. Okay, I've got one more for you. It seems like every step I take up, drama comes along with the bread I cake up. But you ain't doing nothing if you don't have haters. So I welcome you to do what's in your nature. I actually am not going to give... I mean, I could give you a hint on this because I've already won. I sent this to you like a week ago.
Ugh, if only I read your text messages.
I just had the desire to punch our microphone
Yeah,
out.
you did. You literally stared
I
at the
really just
microphone.
got like, you are Candace and I am Monique. You provoke me with every word you say, and you have it coming at some point. Just kidding.
Hold on, let me get my napkin. I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. You don't know this, do you?
No, of course not.
It's Candy, I Fly Above. Remember I sent it
I
to you?
fly above all
All
the
the
haters.
haters.
I fly above. I fly above. I
above.
can need me. Candy, if you need a new recording artist, I'm here.
if you need a new recording artist, don't come to Houston because you will heavily regret it. So I think we need to get our final total. So I had 9 points and Chase had 2. So I would say this week I am back on my bullshit. But yeah, that was fun. We had a very good time playing that. I did. I don't know if you did.
I'm happy you did.
But
I did too.
I think we should move on now to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Yeah, we're in Salt Lake, and it is Sundance time in Park City, Utah.
Yes, it is.
So we are jumping right into Lisa being the queen of Sundance, as she likes to call herself.
She does call herself that.
I mean, it's a self-anointed title.
I mean, I love it. I would call myself the queen of it. I was running a bunch of marketing campaigns and my tequila was covering half of the events there. I mean, I'm very into this.
Did we know that she ran a marketing company? Because she announced that it was like Lux Marketing.
I don't think that we did, but are we
Yeah.
surprised after she branded her
No.
own son's cake about that Wolf brand last week?
It makes sense that she's owns a marketing company.
Yeah.
Because everything in her life is branded. And
Yes.
you can see that. I mean, like, I remember talking about it, episode 1. I was like, why does she have all of her products already propped up behind her?
Well, like you say, whenever
Marketing.
she gifted Whitney her tequila in like episode 2. Like, she is very much a brander. So it makes sense that she's in marketing, like you say. So
Yeah.
you're right.
And then we get Jen acting the most chaotic in a good way. Chaotic in a good way. Because she is literally rolling in her office and roller skates.
She is rollerblading, got a hula hoop around her waist. She comes into her assistant Stu Chains. Like, he had like anal beads around his neck.
Chains. Oh my God.
The entire thing was extremely chaotic, but very on brand for Jen, I will say.
I know. There was at one point, I think she was hula hooping, and he was fanning her with a feather fan.
Yes.
It was wild, but I was also like, I'm hot right now. I would love someone to do it.
I mean, but then it's Whitney's husband's birthday.
Yeah, so we go and see Whitney with her husband at their house, and they're just talking about he's turning 52, and they still love each other, and she wants to honor him because he, like, sacrificed so much in his life for their relationship.
Which is, like,
stuff
sweet,
like that.
but, I mean, if I was him, I would sacrifice a lot too. I mean, she's, like, so hot. Like, I know I don't love her.
I was gonna
but
say, I
she's
don't feel like
hot.
you're really loving Whitney.
But she's gorgeous.
I think she's consistent. I think she's sweet.
Well, like, she's
I think-
consistently go girl, give us nothing.
Go girl, give us a little bit, and we don't hate her.
So she's just kind of there.
Yeah, I think
If this
she.
was
I
any
think
other
she-
if this was any other
the group together.
franchise and she was giving you you would have a problem with it, but you're like, she's giving us a little bit and it's great and I love her.
She's fun. I think we'll get more of her fun, like, side. I mean, we saw her on a stripper pole the first episode.
Not
I
more
thought that
of her
was fun. More of her fun.
We know that she loves a stripper. Can I say, I do not dislike Whitney, so I don't want that to be out there, but I do believe all we've learned about her so far is she ran out a fourth of a restaurant for a party. She loves a stripper pole, and she's very pretty.
And
Like,
she's a model now.
she was asked to walk in a runway show. Touche.
Yeah, Meredith asked her to
But
walk
what else?
in
What
the
is
runway
she
show.
like? Do we know much about like? Okay, we've learned a lot about her dad, so I will like, give that. That's a big storyline, but I just don't know what else we've really learned about Whitney. Moving on, Mary was at her house with Charlinda, who we now stan. Charlinda.
Yeah, I stand her. I want to be friends with her. She is not only Mary's housekeeper, but she's also her grandfather's mother's daughter.
She's
Tell
a
me,
little
I don't
like-
even know.
She's like my grandfather's uncle's aunt, second cousin, twice removed, third cousin's brother, sister. It's like, wait, she's just your cousin.
But we don't know each other.
Yeah, but I don't know her that well. She's only worked for me for about... But the thing is, like, we thought she was going to, like, make a joke for once in her life.
Yeah.
And be like, I've known her about 20 years, but I don't really know anything about her life. Like, we thought we were going to be like, ha, just kidding.
We're best friends.
But it was literally, no, we don't know each other like that.
But we're family.
It literally reminds
She
me...
ended it with, but we're family. I'm like, okay, what? Like, I'm so confused.
It reminds me of whenever on Atlanta, Nene came back into the scene with Kenya and Cynthia, and she was like, oh, I didn't know that you two were best friends now. And they'd been, like, best friends for a while. And Cynthia hit Kenya with, well, we're still getting to know each other.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
been, like, best
And she's
friends.
like, wait, what? We
Yeah.
just had a best friend
We've
conversation.
been, like, best friends for, like, 2 years.
I
And
feel like that's
she's
how
like,
Charlinda's feeling right now.
Poor Charlinda.
I feel bad for her. She's gonna watch this back on TV and be like, my own family doesn't know who I am.
I cannot even.
Like, that was
can't.
wild. But do we expect anything less from Mary at this point?
I expect nothing but just insaneness from Mary, to be totally honest. So we actually get to the husband's party.
Yeah.
And one of the best parts is, like, they're having conversations, whatever, and it pans to Mary in the corner completely dancing by herself again. She got her arm up and she just loves a party alone.
She lives in her own world.
And I, like, am
delusional.
completely jealous. I wish I was delusional. I wish I could just, like, be at a party in a corner by myself living my best life.
Not knowing
Not
anyone.
banging my grandpa, but just in the corner. living
I'm happy
my
that
best
you
life.
made that clear.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. So I think the only thing that we really get out of this party is that Mary goes up to Jen to be like, are we good? Trying to, like, figure out what's going on between
Right.
them. And it comes up that Jen supposedly said the grandpa fucker. Or not supposedly, she did say it. But Jen says she didn't. So they kind of, like, clear the air in a way because
Agree
like
to
Jen says she
disagree.
doesn't.
I feel like we're only a few episodes into Salt Lake City, and there's so many good moments for the reunion already. Like, I'm just imagining all of these scenes when Andy's like, you said you didn't said that flashback. Like,
Yeah.
immediately her saying it. Like, I feel like there's so many moments on Salt Lake City.
One of my favorite Housewives things in general across all of them is when they say something 10 minutes
Yeah.
before and they flashback 10 minutes ago.
10
It's my
minutes ago.
favorite thing.
That literally happened on Potomac reunion this week, which we will get to,
Yeah.
but I was cracking up at that too. But they do kind of agree to, you know, move on.
Yeah.
Move past it. We'll see how far that really sticks and how far it goes.
I do see Mary being one of those people, though, that's like, she's going to get into some wild fights, and she already has,
Yeah.
but moves on pretty quickly. Because, again, she's kind of just living in her own world.
I was
She's like,
about to
let's just
say.
be fine with it, whatever, moving on.
She's living
I'm
on her
worried
own
about
planet.
myself. So
Yeah.
I think she'll move on quickly with all fights she has, which I like as a housewife.
I
Like,
do agree with that.
I don't want it to harp on one topic. I know, Cassidy, that you were very excited for this next scene.
Am I?
You are. It's the debut of Brooks Marks' sweatpants.
Brooks by Sheree Sweatsuits.
Yeah, we get to find out that he is gonna be in the first ever Salt Lake City.
No, Park City.
Oh, Park City Fashion Week.
Yeah.
He is in the first ever. So what an honor.
What an honor. And he's really upset that his dad and his sister aren't going to be able to come to the event. Which, like, I know, like, we kind of, like, shit on Brooks sometimes. But, I mean, I guess it is a bummer if you're getting this opportunity. And he does say in the interview, he's like, how did I get this opportunity? Oh, wait, I know how. It's my mom.
Yeah, that's
So,
why
like,
I
I'll
rolled
give
my
him,
eyes
like,
a little
credit
bit.
in that for him being, like, you know, at least, like, he's admitting that he didn't just come up with these amazing sweatsuits. He's like, well, I've got into this because of my mom.
Yeah, but I feel like even whenever he says that line, it's kind of like, haha, yeah, I know.
Let me just say, there's never been a good Brooks on Bravo.
No, they use them at... Oh, it's true.
We're Brooks in
God,
Orange County.
You're right. There
You were
isn't.
my life, my love, my heart, my soul, my spirit, my whatever it was.
Give me some new teeth.
And I have to throw this in here because this is my favorite Brooks, whatever his name was on OC. Whenever they were going around the table, there was like a Valentine's party, and everyone was going around the table. You know what I'm going to say. Everyone's going around the table saying their favorite thing about their wife. Like Terry says about Heather, her mothering ability, and Eddie says about Tamara, her eyes, and it gets to Brooks about Vicky, and he dead ass serious says, no doubt her vagina. And that's like my favorite
Her
part.
vagina.
He says no doubt her vagina. Like, it is iconic, and I had to throw that moment in because it's like my favorite thing ever. I will post it on our Instagram
That is
some
a
point
good
this week.
one to remember. That is so funny.
Like, sorry, Brooks, he's the original Brooks.
Yeah, and y'all are both living up to the name.
There, y'all are both a moment. But
Yeah.
then we head into Lisa's event with the peel away prizes, which actually looks really fun.
It looked cool. I was like, I'm gonna give her some credit. Like, she clearly knows what she's doing. That was
Yeah.
like a fun event, and it was like cool ideas. And I love me some of that Monopoly.
Oh, I love
Like
them.
McDonald's?
You know I'm an addict to the scratch
Yeah.
off the gambling life. I mean, that looks so much fun. But her
Yeah.
poor children were at home eating Buffalo Wild Wings, just trying to call their mom and be like, hi, Mom, just trying to check in, I'm alive. And she was ignoring the call from the babysitter.
Honestly, that sounds like a great night to me. Just
That's
hanging out at home, eating Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh,
Like,
I thought you meant as the mom ignoring your kid's call.
honestly, either way.
Both. I mean, we would do either or, so it's fine.
Sometimes I like to go out and be wild. Sometimes I like to sit at home and eat Buffalo Wild Wings, and that's it.
More of the latter.
You know? And then we go over to Heather and Whitney getting drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And they started talking about how strict Salt Lake City is with alcohol and like the amount of alcohol you can have on your
I
table.
learned tonight
and
that
drinks.
we could not live in Salt Lake City.
Yes. We like to order a drink before our finished drink.
We'll literally be
What?
like, can I get a bottle of rosé, and can he also get a bottle of rosé? So we definitely would not stand a chance.
No.
Getting
'cause-
one small, and they even said the drinks will be weakened sometimes,
Yeah.
and they're super strict about the laws in
Because
general.
so they even said it's so strict that you can't have two drinks on the table at the same time.
I'd be
so I'm
screwed.
guessing like you can't have two personal drinks. Like, I mean, it was Whitney and Heather drinking, so that's two drinks right there. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing an extra
I think
drink.
it means two, like a drink per person. Like you can't have two drinks.
Yeah. So that was weird. But also
Wild.
that Heather was saying that she was having trouble finding a man.
Yeah, which I feel like the second Heather stops looking, she's gonna have a man fall in her lap because she's been so amazing so far in
Yeah.
the show.
I feel like she's a catch. She
She's
has a business.
total
Like,
catch.
She's a great
business.
mom.
She says worth $20 million.
Yeah.
I mean, she's gorgeous. She's funny. She actually has a really good personality.
And she was saying that a lot of guys that she's been going on dates with just think she's too much.
yeah.
Which, you know what? Like,
Well, then screw them.
I would just say screw them because I think she's a catch.
I agree. She also said, I'm always looking for sex. I'm never looking for love. And then she was like, wait, can you guys cut that out? So it was pretty funny that they kept it in.
We know that we're doing Sundance this week on Salt Lake, and Jen's cousin is doing premiere of his documentary, so she's setting up a party at her house for him. Right. So that's cool.
Yeah. And Lala and Katie from Vanderpump Rules.
What an exciting pair to walk in, I would
They
say.
literally walked in. They were like, hi, oh, this is your party. It was very stale. I don't know why they were even there. I think they said because they're from there.
They said they're friends of Whitney. Oh. Like, that's what they, like, said as their, like, when their intro title was, like, friends of Whitney. And Whitney was like, oh, they're friends of a friend. I'm like, okay, so they're all really close here.
So bravo threw you guys in because you're also from Salt Lake and wanted to cross over.
Is Lala still on Vanderpump?
I don't think anyone's on Vanderpump right now.
That's true. I guess we have no idea because they're not
I
filming.
would say Lala would still be on, and Katie would
I think Katie would still be on, too.
But we'll see where that goes. Oh, wait. Lala was there because she had a movie coming out.
Oh, yes. We can't forget the amazing actress, Lala.
What was it called? It started with an S or something.
Spice?
Spice is supposed to be balls. Who freaking knows? I don't know.
Ma'am, what?
I love to say that. There used to be a show on called Small Town Security, and this woman would scream species supposed to be meatballs, but it's a totally different story for a totally different day.
Okay, give them Lala, Cassidy.
Give them Lala. Give them species supposed to.
So it's funny at this party, Heather is clearly looking for some men.
She pulls. She has a guy who's like, she's like, oh, show me your projector. Show me your big projector. And then he has
like, you have like some big tools over here.
Yes,
I wanted
and
to
he
come
took
meet
her
you.
out to her truck. I mean, his truck. Like, who knows what they were going to do.
I'm clutching my pearls right now.
Oh, not your pearls. Yeah, they went out to his truck, so we will see next week where that one went.
But before we end the episode, we get a really great, insane scene at the Marks household where there's overflowing toilets, there's dog shit.
That was one of the wildest things I've ever seen. There was a fire alarm. And like, I love how Meredith went upstairs and saw the overflowing toilet and she was like, why would that set off the fire alarm? Clearly the two were not related. Like, I love that was her go-to.
I don't know.
She calls the maintenance man. I mean, it's a whole thing.
She doesn't think to, like, just turn off the water, like, to the toilet. Because
well,
you can turn it off.
I think also they were trying to get out the door to get to the fashion show. They were already running. Like, I love that Brooks is always so monotone. He was like, I guess I should call the lady and let her know I'll be 15 minutes late. It was like, sir, there's literally like water shit. Like, the whole place is a mess. And he's so calm about it. Like, I guess I should let them know I'm going to be late. Like, I respect the professionalism, but like, it is a mess.
He just was this kind of like monotone self. I do think he was freaking out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he kept saying like, I have a lot of anxiety, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just like, kind of like what you're saying.
It's
like,
the way he
I'm
says
gonna
everything.
Be late.
Yeah. It's just, he always is so monotone that it just seems very low energy. But I get that he was freaking out.
That's when they do end up at
the event. Meredith's getting her makeup done. Whitney gets there to get her makeup done. Brooks walks up and says, do I need any makeup done? And they're
again, like, very monotone,
always,
no
he's
energy.
Always so not energetic. Like,
no.
But yeah.
Are you looking forward to this fashion show?
Not really. But I'm always looking forward to another episode of Salt Lake City.
Me too.
So I'm excited for that.
No. So why don't we head on over to Atlanta?
The ATL. So taglines are here on Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a favorite and a least favorite, or
not yet? I usually have to like hear them a couple times and process them. You know, it takes me a second to process things.
I really loved Portia's. Okay, she says I may be social distancing, but I'm here for social justice, which is like
okay. I mean,
chef's kiss.
I was gonna say they can't get wrong. I can't do no wrong with that. Like that one's good.
Iconic instantly. And Cynthia's, I mean, I just can't when she does these chill and these like things she does. It's I've been through the peaks and valleys, but now I'm head over hills because Mike Hill, and I'm just like, I can't, Cynthia. It's just a lot.
Stop attaching her identity to like her man.
A man, you're right. I didn't think about it that way, but you're 100% right.
Always.
She really does. But anyways, jumping into the episode, they're kicking things off by going to Kenya's house. And I thought this was so funny because we talked about, I think on episode 1 of the podcast, how you get really hot and sweaty in the summer and you take a like napkin with you and dab yourself.
Yes, ma'am, I do. Always in my pocket.
The entire time Kenya was sitting outside, she had this like huge underboob sweat and she was like patting herself the entire time. And they kept talking about how hot and sweaty it was out there. So I was thinking of you the entire time I was watching this episode.
I was like, girl, get inside in that AC.
I know.
You don't have to be out here.
It's June in Atlanta. Like humidity is at 98%. Go inside. With COVID, they probably were trying to encourage them to be outside.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense. sense. You're right.
I literally did not think of that until right now.
But again, I'd be like, I'll distance myself across the room if I get some AC.
I feel you.
At least have some fans up. I have to have me a fan. Luckily, like here in Texas, like any restaurant you go to that's outside has those like
crazy misters.
Yeah,
and
misters
fans.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's game changing because I couldn't live here otherwise.
It's hot here. It is hot.
So in this scene, we see LaToya.
We meet LaToya.
Meet LaToya. Too much.
I did love the moment whenever she came in and it had said Candy's friend.
I did
and then
like
it
that.
switched to Candy's friend that Kenya stole as like her little tag at the bottom. I was like, I just love the producers.
And because Kenya said it, she was like, well, I'm going to steal her from
yeah,
Candy.
Yeah,
so...
and it was, like, popped it up and it
Yeah,
switched.
and how quickly they did it, which was really funny.
But I agree,
But...
LaToya came in very, very hot. She came in like,
She's
I don't
trying
know
so
if she was like
hard.
trying not to be a housewife at this point. Or,
I
like,
think she
what.
probably was, because I mean, she is pretty featured pretty heavily in this episode.
Yeah.
So she must have been on that track.
Like auditioning at some point.
But they probably even thought she was too much. But then right after meeting her, we meet the real new housewife,
we
Drew.
do. Drew, and I was having a hard time remembering her name, but I'm associated with New and Drew. Easy to remember for
Gotta get a
anyone
rhyme
who's
in
struggling.
there.
Anyone else who's bad with names, I'm just helping y'all out.
Okay, we're going to start calling her New Drew.
Hashtag New Drew.
I feel like that's how we're going to remember her.
It's
it
what we're
goes,
calling
it
her.
works.
But she's also sitting outside and she's like, I came from LA. I'm not used to all this humidity. And she's like dabbing herself with sweat. But Cynthia is sitting there in a full leather outfit. Did you notice this?
I don't know how they're doing it.
Like,
At least
it's
at
gorgeous.
night. It's
I
not...
love it. But it's still, you know how it is. It's hot in June.
I know. Even at night, it's like 90 degrees.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really do that much.
Full on leather moment. Leather top, leather pants. I was like, okay, go on, Cynthia. But that was insane. And I will say, Drew walked up with a boot. New Drew.
Yeah.
You know, our last housewife we were introduced to with a boot was Brandi Glanville.
Oh, God.
Like, the
and
last
that
and
kicked
only.
off some insane, chaotic energy on Beverly Hills. So.
At least I wasn't doing crystal meth in the bathroom all night long, bitch. Ooh. Are we going to get that same kind
and
of
then
energy?
she crutches her ass right out of that house.
Do you not feel like, though, like, she's coming in with a hot energy, too?
Yes, but I think right now her chaotic energy is ingrained in her relationship, which we'll get to, which is different and a little bit weirder, I think.
Well, they're sitting there talking about it, and she's like, well, you know, marriage is a lot of work. And then it says, like, throwback to 8 hours earlier. And it's her in bed, like, her husband comes in with, like, flowers and champagne. They're celebrating 6 years of marriage. But then she says in her interview, we've been together for 6.5 years, married for 6. And that immediately is like,
quick marriage.
Ding, red flag. Like, that is quick. And she even says in her interview herself, she's like, it sounds crazy when I say that out loud.
Yeah. And I will say, when I was sitting around watching it with a few people, and everyone was like, oh my God, he's so cute.
Yeah, he's gorgeous.
So sweet. He's like giving her this breakfast for their anniversary. Like,
her
everyone was
mom's in
really
there.
into him right off the bat because
Yeah.
her mom walks in. He seems to have a really good rapport with the mom, but we get a really quick flashback whenever he's fighting with the mom, and I'm like, ooh, this is too good to be true.
Then 2 months prior, and the mom and him are going at it.
So we get a little glimpse into who he may actually be.
Yes.
But I will say, everyone at the beginning, whenever he first walked in, was like, yes.
Yeah.
New hot house husband, let's go.
He's stunning. We're not denying that. When we see Riley's graduation, which was sweet.
That was cute.
Like,
her,
yeah.
Candy and Mama Joyce.
Crazy
going.
to see that Riley's freaking graduating high school now. We've seen her since she was
I
a
know.
tot.
It was so funny because Riley was did you see Riley crossing the stage, and she like took her hat off, put it back on, was like moving it around, shuffling it around,
that, no.
and eventually she just was like stuck it, like, you know, moved the little tassel over and just like gave up, and it just like fell off as she's walking.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice
really
that.
Sad, but it made me think of like our graduation and like me and you being
We were
last.
sat next to each other. We were very lucky to not be cum laude or magna cum laude. We were just the normal
Very fortunate.
C. Smiths that actually got to sit together at the back, and we had like 2,000 people in our graduating class. So shout out to
our
being able
asses
to
were
sit.
sitting there in the June heat, being like, I have to walk across this damn stage.
waiting for 1,800 names before us.
Oof, that was rough. So I sympathize with Riley, but it did make me laugh as it was like falling off her head.
Oh my
like,
God, I have to rewatch that. I can't believe I
Me
didn't
too.
even notice that.
That was really funny.
So Portia gets home from being in Kentucky. Is it Kentucky?
Yeah, it was like right after she got out of jail.
And she got out of jail and she came home and she's kind of talking about, you know, I want to really stick with the cause and I want to commit myself to other like Black Lives Matter movements. But I also need to be like super mom to PJ and
Yeah.
figure out different things. And she kind of touches on her relationship with Dennis for the first time, because we saw that they were in Kentucky together. But we find out that she is like kind of not feeling it at the moment.
Yeah, she said during quarantine it's just not working.
Everything
I mean, it
is,
wasn't
like-
working before, so I'm not surprised.
Well, she used the word toxic, which I
Yeah.
think is a really big word. The fact that she's calling her own relationship toxic is...
I mean, I really think my thoughts, this is just me assuming, she was just trying to make it work for PJ, which
I
I
agree.
understand. But I do have to say, like, if they don't work out, Portia's mom and sister Lauren are just so good that family unit is going to be tight.
And I feel like he'll be around still,
Yeah.
which is good.
I
Like,
just
they don't have to be
love
in the same room.
Portia's mom and Lauren. Like,
I
they're
love
such
them,
fun. Every
too.
time they come on camera, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a cute moment. Because they're, like, literally ride or die. Like, that is,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, they're
what
good.
I want in a mom and a sister. Like, that is
Completely
awesome.
agree. Completely agree. But then Cynthia decides she's going to have everyone over to try Black-owned wines for the Cynthia Bailey wine cellar.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was really cool. I thought it was like, she felt like it was her way of doing a part to support Black-owned businesses while supporting her own Black-owned business. LaToya comes in really hot in the scene with Kenya. And they pull up. I feel like she started making shady comments. Is it on a river? Is it on a lake? Is it on a whatever? And they get upstairs and she's sitting down and she's like, are those fake plants in the corner to Cynthia? And Cynthia's like, yeah, they are fake plants. And then they walk
Well,
up
they were
to this-
fake grapes on the plate.
They walked into
Oh,
the
is that-
table
yeah.
and she had like meatballs on it and she put fake grapes
Like,
on it.
why would she do that?
Cynthia,
She's like, oh my.
what are you thinking?
Her excuse was like, oh, my grapes went bad. I'm going to put these. I was like, no.
Girl, we just don't need grapes.
Less
like,
is more.
No, less is absolutely more in that situation. Like, are you kidding me? And then she also took a bite of a meatball and said, oh yeah, I love cold meatballs, and walked off. Like, she is
Shady.
being a lot.
I like Lake Bailey. That's the kind of house I'd be so into.
I
Like,
would
in
love
the
to have that
woods
as a
on
house.
the water. Like, I am down.
Like, as long as I have a lot of security, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's a little secluded. As long as I get some
Yeah,
security,
yeah.
I am very
Get
good.
yourself a good alarm system. In this scene, you can definitely tell that Kenya is not feeling Drew. Because
No.
Drew is there. And neither is LaToya.
She calls
Like,
her a
was really
stray,
coming
I
at
think.
her.
Kenya says in her interview, where do you find these strays, Cynthia? Like, where do you find these girls? Like, being so freaking shady already,
Yeah.
right off the bat.
And LaToya was coming for new Drew as well.
Yeah,
Like,
she
they
was
both
literally
were
like, what is
clearly
that thing
not
on her
into it.
head? Her cat on her head?
I was really confused. I was like, does she have something on her head? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't notice anything
I thought
off.
her hair looked fine.
I was so confused by that.
Yeah,
Like,
and Marlo gets there, and Marlo can tell, obviously, that LaToya and Kenya have gotten super close.
mm-hmm.
And Marlo goes into the kitchen to get something, and LaToya's in there, and she says to her, you should really watch what you say to Kenya. She couldn't keep a man of Jesus paid her to. Which we were like, ooh, the line of the episode. Oh my God.
I know Marlo. An episode without Marlo is not an episode at this point.
I
Like,
agree.
She made episode 1,
I agree.
like with her little parts, and she's making episode 2. Just like when her quips and her like smart comments
She's very
are
witty.
hilarious. So
I agree.
Marlo is really killing it so far.
Then we get to Ralph setting up a nice dinner for New Drew to celebrate their anniversary.
Mhm.
And they sit down and they start feeding each other strawberries, which always grosses me out. Like, what is your thought on that, feeding each other strawberries? I never thought that was hot.
I mean, don't touch my food.
Yeah, so I'm like, don't steal my fruit. The first thing that he says at this anniversary dinner to New Drew is, what are some of the things you think are working in our relationship, and what are some of the things that you think aren't working? Which is like, oh my God, how do you start off an anniversary dinner with that?
I was about to say, you were supposed to be having a fun night, and that's where you're going to go with it, when they've clearly already been fighting a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So why can't you just, like, have a good night and enjoy
I
yourself? But no,
completely
you go
agree.
right for the questions that's clearly going to trigger a fight.
I mean, their relationship just seems so toxic. She brings
Yeah.
up that he took off for 3 days at a time and didn't say where he was going. Like, he would respond to some text to let her know that he was alive, basically.
But nowhere to where he was. Like,
Would not let her know.
nothing.
Said, and then he says to her, I went to the beach. I went to the beach. And she's trying to pull it out of him, like, what beach did you go to? Where were you? Were you in Georgia? And he finally says, after, like, her prying for 10 minutes, and him saying, I don't need to tell you where I was in Tampa. Which,
There are many beaches closer than Tampa.
I think she said you drive past 4 beaches to get to
Yeah.
Tampa.
I mean, Panama City Beach, stunning.
Yeah.
I mean, you have gone there.
Yeah, I mean,
some of that
gorgeous.
is way closer than Tampa, and it's like a 6-hour drive from...
It's a freaking
Atlanta.
joke to say that you're going to take off. I'm sorry. Like, if I cannot see on Find My Friends where my boyfriend is for 10 minutes, then I immediately like am calling the cops, freaking out, thinking that something's happened to him. He was gone for 3 days. She had no clue where he was. And bear in mind, they have children and her mom living there. They know what's going on.
It's funny. I was going to ask you what you would do, but you already answered it.
Now you know. The cops are on their way.
To add a cherry on top of that, she literally was like, I made you dinner. I was going to bring it down, I think, to his office.
Yeah.
And she was knocking on the door, no response. And he was gone. Like,
That's
he
how I found out
literally
you were
went
gone.
downstairs, didn't tell her he was leaving, and left. She had no idea he was gone.
And on top of that, for the double cherry on top,
Ooh, this is a Sunday.
she says, but the double fudge on top of that, she says, you also were spying on us. You're like Big Brother.
Oh my God,
Like,
that was
there's
insane.
Exactly, because she loves to say he's in the tech field, which I don't exactly know what that means. But apparently he has cameras in the living room. And she said that when she'd gone through his phone, there was a still picture from the time that he was gone of her on the couch sleeping with her mom and then like the kids to the side.
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he's off with someone else. Like, whenever you want, tell me where you're going. Because she even said, we've never been to Tampa. Why are you going to Tampa? He's doing something with someone.
And apparently this isn't an uncommon occurrence.
Exactly.
Like, he just ups and leaves, like, anytime they get in a little argument. And she kind of said it early in the episode, I think. And she was like, oh, yeah, anytime we get in a fight, we always just say we're going to divorce each other.
And
like, that's their go-to.
She said he's a runner, and we always scream divorce. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, the second you're married and you start screaming divorce, it is all downhill from there.
I haven't seen a relationship on the Housewives implode so fast as
Yes.
theirs did.
Episode 1.
This was the first time we were
for
meeting her.
Exactly. Episode 1 of her coming in. It's like their relationship is like, did they come on the show to get divorced?
Well, remember I told you, I was like, that's another thing, like the vow renewals. I think a lot of times housewives that are in bad marriages come on the show to get divorced. It's a common occurrence, I think.
I
Because
agree.
it gives them the freedom, some stability, and it shows the world what they've been dealing with.
Yeah.
So they have a good reason.
You feel more
to leave.
justified almost.
Yeah.
And she was even like, if we make it to year 7, we should have a wedding next year. And he was like, no. But
So
we
a
know
vow
in the
renewal.
a vow renewal in the Bravo verse, that is the triple scoop of whipped cream on top. They will be divorced next year if they have a vow renewal and attempt to stick it out.
It was just too much.
Chaos at its finest.
So that was Atlanta for this week.
That was Atlanta. I think we should move on to Pastor Holy Whore Potomac.
I know you've been waiting for this
I
one.
have been waiting
the
for
entire
this
time.
one.
Just for Monique reading the shit out of Giselle.
Bindering the shit out of Giselle.
There you
you
go.
mean. When we kick it off, Andy meets T'Challa at the beginning, and of course, they go to set and sit down. Robin shows up very last with her empty cartridge ink hair that she was serving us. I don't know
What was that?
It was a choice. I don't know what it was. It was insane. But the first segment that they go into is about like how everyone's like fashion has changed and how everyone's personalities have changed since episode 1 of the show in general. And Karen was so proper. I am Miss Potomac. I do not curse.
Oh my god, when she's trying to talk to Ashley about how she needs to be this certain way in
If she
Potomac.
wants to be in
Oh my god,
society.
how she has changed.
Hilarious. And now she's like throwing back shots of like Fireball.
Talking
and
about Ray's D
talking
the
about
entire
Ray's dried up
time.
penis and sitting in a tub screaming for hoo-hoo, Ray! Like,
Did we just harmonize on O Ray?
Ray! Look out, Ashley Darby, Coffee and Love, we're coming for you.
That's gonna be the next Housewives song that I'm gonna have to try to guess.
You're kind of like, we'll circle back to that in 6 months and you will not remember even having this conversation. Or we'll circle back in 2 weeks and you
Yeah,
won't remember
a
this
day.
conversation. But what do you think when they're showing it? Who do you think has changed the most and the least out of the Housewives?
I mean, Giselle changed the least.
That's
I
like, you're
think-
so shady.
I
That's
think
what the
this-
Housewives said too.
I literally think this whole segment was set up just to show that Giselle's fashion hasn't changed.
See, but my mind didn't even go there. I thought whenever they say who has changed the least, I was thinking strictly looks wise, and I was like, Monique hasn't changed at all. Like she has always looked
Yeah,
the
she
same.
really hasn't
to
either,
me.
but she's always just looked amazing.
That's exactly. But then they
Yeah.
tried to shade Giselle and be like, oh, she has not grown at all.
I swear it was all set up just to show
I
Giselle.
really feel like it was to 100%. But anytime they're talking about, and I'm not surprised, but anytime they're talking about anyone that Candace does not like, it'll pan to her in like the bottom corner of the screen and she's just rolling her eyes into the back of her head. Like she
Yeah.
can see her brain.
Always
She's
with an attitude.
She is so annoying. But they're talking about how Karen has changed. And she says, oh, I got my nose done. I couldn't breathe, so I got the fillers in the tip of my nose.
That was
which
so
is like
weird.
the classic Housewives line, though. Like the classic Bravo line whenever you want to say that you didn't get anything done. You just got something because you couldn't breathe. But one of the viewer questions was, does Giselle get dressed in the dark? And that absolutely killed me. I was like, whoever you were in
so rough.
like New Jersey who asked that question, you said what we were all thinking. I feel like they were trying to say too, like, oh, Karen, like, why are you coming for the green-eyed bandits now on Twitter? Because she was kind of on Twitter tweeting a lot. And I think it's only freaking fair. Like, she was come for so hard all season by Giselle.
They can't take it. Like, Karen has literally...
She's been
like
like
you
the
said,
butt
they've
of all
ganged up on
jokes.
her for years.
Yeah.
And they've always came for Karen. And Karen's having fun and, like, really coming at them.
She's
and not
actually
taking
gotten
things
her, like,
seriously. And they don't like
fragrances.
it.
Exactly. She's got her fragrances. She's got her hairline off the ground. Like, she's actually doing things now. And you feel like they're jealous. So that's why they were always hating on it so hard.
They bring up at this one point in that show that Hue Beauty...
Every
Hue Beauty is no longer...
They said it's been liquidated from Target now.
Yeah, and she was saying coronavirus at first, but they kind of pried a little bit more.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, it's kind of just like shut down.
Yeah, she's like, it's shut down for now.
Yeah, and that's why Karen was like, well, Ladom's not.
We
I'm
shall
in installment
see.
2 with my
She
wigs.
said, and she said our perfume's in Bloomingdale's.
Ooh.
Like, how about that?
I
How
like
about
that.
that?
So we actually get a Wendy montage first.
Yeah.
We start with her, Wendy, the new housewife.
Like, I think I started to really like Wendy at the end of the season when she
Mm-hmm.
had calmed down and gotten, you know, off of, like, I am more than my degrees, like, that kind of thing. But now, being back at the reunion, I feel like she's reliving it all over again, and it's making it a thing again.
I don't really get, because, like, we've talked about this, I don't really get all of the hate around her.
Well,
And she kind of says that. She brings it up because, like, they're getting a lot of
yeah.
hate because Ashley misused a word that Wendy didn't like. And she says, you're coming at me the same things that people on Twitter are coming at me.
Right.
And she's getting a lot of hate. And
Well, she's
I
saying
don't
it's
really
almost...
get it.
Do you think it's a colorism thing is what she's
Yeah.
saying? Because you use words like...
Aggressive.
which
Yeah.
can be used for, I guess, women of color in a situation like that. You know what you're doing when you use these words. I mean, I don't think Ashley was using those words to do it that way, but I get what Wendy's saying.
Yeah.
And I would
Because
hope
people
that...
use it on Twitter to now come for her.
Yeah. I would hope
And-
that Ashley would maybe choose her words more wisely in the future, because at the end of the day, she was kind of... like, Wendy was perpetuating things between Monique and Candace.
But it's like if someone has a feeling and it's a feeling based in a societal issue,
Right.
just say sorry, it was a misuse of words, I shouldn't have used that word, and move on. Ashley didn't really do that.
No.
So one thing Giselle did accuse Karen of doing is trying to get Wendy off the show.
Right.
So like fans are not into her, and apparently, or accusing Karen of doing
Well, she
the same
accused
thing.
her of calling her a freelancing floozy, or a floozy freelancer. And Giselle immediately says, oh, well, I threw in the floozy part. And, like, Andy even was like, that's a big freaking word
Yeah,
to throw
I mean,
in.
you can't just misquote someone, and then now we're supposed to believe that Karen was doing that.
Exactly.
It was too soon. Like,
Exactly.
it ruined it. So I didn't really believe it.
I don't either.
But we do get the funny Wendy Slither.
The Slytherin.
A highlight of the season, which was given to us by Karen.
And Wendy thought it was funny.
Yes,
And
like,
then they have
she
on the same
was-
shoes.
See, that was what kind of threw me sometimes with Wendy this season, was she played with the joke a lot, but then random times she'd be like, I'm not playing this joke and we're gonna like get in.
It was never
So-
like consistent. It was like you were almost scared to
Yeah.
make the joke, but then she took the joke really well. And then I was like, oh my god, she's cool. So it was one of those things that it was weird.
So before we move on to Candace montage, I'm gonna ask you, do you think Wendy should be on for next season, or do you think she's a one and done?
I think towards the end of the season she grew on me more, so I'll say give her another chance.
I think we should give her another season.
You agree?
I agree. I don't.
If
she
you'd
gave us
asked me
some
this
funny
at
moments.
the beginning, I would have said no, but asking me now, I say yes.
I just think she needs to see that like having the same storyline the entire season is not entertaining.
She needs to get her 5th degree and having a new storyline. That's
oh
what
god, that's
it'll
gonna be
in.
it.
Her 5th degree.
So after that, we see Candace's montage.
Do we have to?
We have to.
Oh god.
I know.
I just love how she was trying to tease, because at the end, Andy was like, oh, and you got a new house. And she's like, we're going to wait and talk about that. We're going to wait. Like, trying to tease it for when Chris comes out later. Like, girl, nobody cares.
No, like that's not a tease that anyone's waiting for.
Completely agree.
But the only reason I was into the Candace montage or the Candace moment is when Andy was like, like Andy was even saying Candace was a disaster on Twitter.
Yes.
And that it would probably be best for her if she stayed off of Twitter.
Yes.
I was
He
like,
said
is
your
that
life
little
will be
bit
a
of
lot better if you stay off Twitter. Which
So
was...
did you take that as like a little hint?
Oh, it was a slight.
from Andy?
No, it was 100% like something to her. Like, you need to stay off Twitter.
Yeah.
Because you're like a mess on Twitter.
I just
She
think it was
is.
kind of like, if you are gonna continue on the show, maybe
But it's
chill
like-
a little
But
bit.
it's what she's been doing for years now. Why is she going to change?
I don't think she's going
Like, she
to.
never gets punished for her bad behavior.
I just felt like that was such a direct thing from your boss, being like, here's a hint.
Stay off Twitter.
Yeah. So then we get a beautiful Jamal and Giselle's loving relationship montage of him
mean-
living in her phone. That's
Him
the
living
best
in her
thing.
phone and her dad hating him and him being there twice in the season. What a moment. I mean, Karen asks, like, oh, are you with Jamal? Is it real? And she's like, well, yeah, it's real. And she says,
She even hesitates a little bit. She's like, yeah.
yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
She's like, even if he just had his 7th baby. And I was like,
I know the fact that she said while they were together, she's like, 7th baby while you're supposed to be dating
while
him.
you were with him. Oh
And I
my
mean,
God.
we should just get into it. I mean, it just sets off a chain of events, and we get the introduction to Monique's binder.
Yes, we do.
The binder that holds all the
The
receipts.
epic binder that gets pulled out.
And we've been waiting for this binder. It's always been teased, but
Well,
it was better than what I even expected.
It was so much better than any burn book, than any binder I could have ever expected in my
Yes.
entire life. Monique says the woman that Jamal has been dating has reached out to her several times, and she was like, I wasn't going to be messy and get involved with this. But since you always want to talk about Chris and me and whatever else has gone on, I'm going to get involved, and I'm going to make an entire freaking thick tab in my binder for you. And she's going through reading all these text messages with this woman that's like, are you going to be in Atlanta? Like, I want to see you. I want to fly out and see you. It's not a good idea if you're putting your family back together. And he's like, what family? What are you talking about? And Monique's like, okay, do you believe this, Giselle? It's from his phone number. And
Reads out that phone number.
she's like 470 bleep 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 out. And if I was Giselle, I would have been like, no, that's not his number. she was like,
speechless.
yeah,
I've
and
never
she said,
seen Giselle
yeah,
speechless.
it's his number, which
Yeah.
is,
And
I
she
mean,
just sits
can
there.
you
She's like, yeah,
imagine?
his number. Andy's face was,
everything.
through this whole thing, Andy's face was just priceless.
It is everything. And Giselle immediately says, I don't believe anything that's in her binder. I'm glad she's been bindering. Which the
That's
way
all
she
she could
says
come
it,
back with.
It's like you could tell she's like visually, like she's shaking from
Yeah.
it. She's actually really affected. And like, I don't ever feel bad for Giselle because I think she puts herself in a lot of situations, but I felt really bad at that moment for her. Like, being
I mean,
so...
she's been accusing Monique of having an
I
affair on her
know.
husband, so
I know.
I'm sorry. Like, you shouldn't fight fire with fire, but
Well, she said, if you want to come for my family, my relationships, I'm going to come right back at
yeah,
yours.
I mean, they've been tearing down Monique all season. This is her moment to shine, and she's shining. Another thing that came out in those text messages that Monique was reading was whenever Jamal is texting this girl, he also says Giselle's and his relationship is all for reality TV, which I
Right.
think was very damning.
Right.
Because that's happened before in Housewives. They've been accused of using men for storylines. Kenya.
Yeah.
And it's horrible because that just opens a door to something of like fake reality TV.
Right.
And it immediately makes the fan be like, oh, well, I'm over this.
Well, and after that, Karen says to Giselle, is he here? Is Jamal here? Is he going to be sitting behind you? And she
Ooh.
says no. And Monique's kind of like, huh, surprise.
Yeah.
And she goes into it and she says, Pastor Holy Whore, you want to call my man Big Boy, I'm going to say Pastor Holy Whore. Like, you know, your pastor man is swinging his big deal around the congregation as we speak. And, like, there was a way she said, and you know it, like, to Giselle. And it almost felt like Giselle knows it. Like,
I feel like Giselle knew it. She didn't
she-
say a word.
she didn't know.
This was her moment to come back and defend her relationship.
and she sat there.
She sat there.
Crickets.
Quiet. I did notice, like, I think it was just because Monique was saying it, but Candace was, like, really getting, like, upset over, like...
Well, she kept being the whole time she was talking because she always wants to discredit anything that Monique talks about.
Exactly. But it was just
She wants
annoying.
to be like, oh, I can't believe we're going to listen to this. I can't believe we're going to listen to this trash. I can't believe anything. You know how Candace is.
Yeah, so
but-
I just wanted to point that out because, of course, Candace has to put
Yeah.
her little words in there. Like, no one's even talking to
Yeah.
her, and she wants to put her words in.
But respect to Monique. She came with receipts. And
Ooh,
well,
I am excited to see what else that binder has in
I
store.
am excited for part
because I haven't been shocked that much in a long time.
It's hard
Like, it
to
was
be.
shocking.
Yeah.
And it was so funny and so good. And we got the amazing line, Pastor Holy Whore. I mean,
2. Pastor Holy
that's
Whore
never
and
gonna
slinging
go
his
away.
big deal around the congregation.
that's going to be an iconic line for Housewives history.
100%.
Pastor Holy Whore. Oh my.
What a moment.
It was good. I do, just really quick, want to give just a couple OC bits. We've been watching it. We didn't recap it last week, but
Yeah.
I figured we could kind of just say something because it was a very COVID heavy episode.
Right.
And we are still in the throes of COVID.
Right.
So I just wanted to touch on that Emily, Shannon,
COVID.
Shannon's kids, Emily's husband, all of them tested positive for
Right.
COVID. It was very wild. You know, Shannon was taking it very hard.
Yeah.
Well, Shannon actually didn't test positive. Her kids did.
She had
So
three
they were-
negative tests, and she kept talking
Yeah.
about...
So they were quarantining separately
Right.
from each other. And then Emily's husband, Shane, gets COVID really bad. Like,
He
goes
gets
to the
sick
hospital.
yeah, he goes to the hospital.
They do a little mini cast trip.
They
positive
couldn't go
for
because
COVID.
they had positive tests around them.
I will say the lake house in like Arrowhead was beautiful. It was nothing too crazy happened.
Right.
I will say we did get a little clip of Bronwyn at a pool party.
Like a
or
hypocrisy when she was telling everyone not to be
Yeah.
around anyone, and she was at a pool party with no mask.
Yeah, just last episode she was talking shit about Kelly. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
But this episode we see Bronwyn is doing similar things.
Yeah.
So it was, they kind of call her out and be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is messed up. Okay. Was that scene of them cooking the most chaotic thing
I
you've
mean,
ever
there
seen?
was like eggs on the floor, like baking powder over here. Like
They
did
were
end up
wearing
putting-
masks at that point, even though they hadn't been. Like, face shields.
Yeah, I mean, they ended up putting together like a baked salmon dish, which actually looked good.
It did look, I don't know how they
But I don't know
accomplished
how.
that.
I'm like, they definitely like Postmated that in and had that put on a plate and then
They
dug
just
it
showed
off.
them like cutting things up, but then
Yeah.
like the finished was already a pre-made meal.
That was
oh my
so
god, a
chaotic.
pre-made Shannon salmon meal.
Oh my god, it could have been what was her brand? Like
forget.
Fit. We'll call it Fit Archie Foods. Who knows what's her
Archie
dog's name?
Foods.
I have no idea. We'll go with something like that.
I was jealous of the girls, Shannon's daughters, getting to quarantine with Archie.
I know, that was like the best part. That would
I
be like
know.
I would rather quarantine with Archie than Shannon. Like
Archie
Shannon
was
is
adorable.
ugh. Maybe her daughters faked COVID to get away from Shannon for 2 weeks. Is that
I
bad?
mean, it's not the worst because I mean anything to get away from Shannon a little bit.
I mean, I don't blame
imagine her
them.
yelling at you and like trying to give you like all these oils and weird shit to
That's
eat.
what literally the second they were like, "Oh, I've been feeling a little dizzy." She's like, "You know, I would have sent you the kumquat juice and the triple kiwi berry
She's
shots."
like, I have things
and
for this.
It's like, oh my god,
And they're like,
Dr.
"Mom,
Moon,
we're
send
just, like-"
Dr. Moon over so he can like do something to like her
Yeah,
throat. Who
and they were
knows?
just like cuddling Archie and making pancakes.
Yeah, they
I
were
was like,
living
I
their
think
best
they're
lives.
good. But I do want to go back to the like Arrowhead trip because
Mm-hmm.
I want to give Gina props. So they were having a conversation. It was her, Kelly, Elizabeth, and Bronwyn.
Right.
And they were discussing about how I think Kelly brought up the Christopher Columbus statue was going to be taken down. And Bronwyn was like, yeah, of course it's going to be taken down. Like, we don't need to...
Have the reminder of the...
Yeah, like, what's the point in having these statues to remind us of the horrible things that have happened in the past? Like, they're not needed. And Gina stood up and was like, you know, we shouldn't have these things that hurt people. Elizabeth chimed in and said they could be put in a museum.
Yeah.
But Gina brought up her going to jail, and she was like, not for a second was I worried that the cops were going to do anything to me.
Which is huge.
And she said, and maybe that would have been different if I was a black girl or a black guy. And she said, that maybe is too much.
Yeah.
That's too much. And I like that
Major
she took...
props to Gina for
Yeah,
putting
she
it like
just
if
said
it would have
something.
been...
And she didn't have to. She could have sat back and let Kelly and Bronwyn fight it out.
Yeah.
But she's like, no, I'm going to let my voice be heard. And I think that was good
As someone
for
who
that.
was recently in a situation with cops, if I had looked different, what would it have been like for
No.
me?
And she's like, could have been completely different.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so that was OC.
That was OC, yeah.
Yeah. And that was our episode.
Oh,
That was fun. I mean, winner,
mean-
Cassidy, again.
Thanks, that's who I am.
Again.
Next week might be a little different. It's Christmas, so we will hopefully be dropping a little bonus episode for you guys next week.
Yeah.
Maybe something to do with the South. Maybe something to do with going below the deck. We shall see. But
we shall see.
yes, be on the lookout next week.
But happy
and
holidays, guys.
Happy holidays.
Till next
and
time.
Cheers.
Cheers.